Greetings, fellow miners and constructors, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey, The Voidborn. Episode 3, Scouring the Land for Steel. Alright, so the ship kitchen is done. The next task, I would say, is make fuel and shelves. We're almost done with a launch. The other thing I wanted you guys to do is decide whether I should go to a point of interest towards the south or head to the grav core towards the northeast. Where to go next? Towards grav core? Towards warmth. I'm just going to call it warmth. So the grav core, if you're wondering, is the ability to like expand your ship, add power, add more floor panels, that kind of stuff. It will also give us the tiles for it. It just happens to be in a very cold ice sheet. If we end up going that direction, I'm going to want to make parkas for us, for sure. At the very least, because that's, like, too cold. I mean, negative 48 is cold. And if we end up going towards warmth, well, then we can pivot and go a different direction. That's fine, too. Ooh, listen to that mining. He is definitely going faster. And he is 10,000 out of 16,000 to rank up. Alright, there's some other things that I wanted before we actually took off. Which was... extra engines. So we're waiting on the remainder of the steel for that. And the chem fuel from organics doesn't by default use meat, so let's tell it to. Filling up the tanks. We also have like a damaged ship. Not to ignore that either. So as far as productivity goes, I think I'm gonna lean towards a hand tailor bench so that we can spend more time tailoring, leveling up our skill a little bit more. And for that, I believe we need some wood. So I'll cut down some of the fully grown trees around us. Alright, you guys clearly want me to go towards Gravcore. Got it. Fine by me. Just thought I'd ask. Yeah, it's pretty toasty in the ship now. Might be even too warm. He can only get to mining 8? No, he can get up to mining 12. Because of the awful mining gene, we lose 8 out of 20. Mining 12 is reasonable, but trying to get up to level 20 with no passions is pretty hard. I think he'll probably sort of natural cap out around 8 or 9 mining skill, unless I'm like just mining all the time. Alright, there's the tailor bench. So before we go towards Gravcore, we're going to want parkas. And I have tons of leather for that. And then maybe tail caps as well, because I don't want to wear out our helmets, if I can help it. And we're breaking down the granite for shelves. So I'll be putting shelves back in and around the ship. And this is going to be general storage shelves. So let's set up the priorities for this. It's going to be no meals, actually no food, except for packaged meals, hay, hemogen, kibble, chocolate, and fertilized eggs, and jelly. And then raw resources, Ambrosia. Silo caps. Wort. Copy the settings. Paste the settings. I'll link them eventually once they're built. It looks like I'm probably gonna run out of granite before I actually get those shelves built. And then there's also the ship chunks, because we definitely want the components there. But we can also break this down too. Essentially, as long as the mechs aren't like all in my tail, I'm trying to make as much investment into the ship as possible before I have to go, before I have to leave. So this general stockpile, actually, allowing everything is fine, because it's kind of acting as an overflow. And now ICU's temperature tolerance is down to -37. So that'll be a little bit better towards that grav core spot. The about command's not doing its thing. Oh, maybe it's just on cooldown. I could also, of course, get a stone cutter. There is natural granite on this map tile, so I'll do that in just a minute. Crafting 10. Yeah, I know I have tons of meat sitting on the ground outside. I think some of the problem is just our stockpiles are just about full. So having to struggle where to actually put it. As you can see, it's we're putting it inside the interior of the ship now. So it's not going to do any better outside than inside. But we're going to be turning it into biofuel. So it's not ultimately going to be a problem. I'll have Rylus refuel the chem tanks now. And then maybe I'll have him just refine a whole bunch of chem fuel, freeing up more meat space. When we make it, I want to drop it on the floor. I'm going to call this the chem drop. It's not going to allow anything, but it allows you to count it. So then if we make up to, let's say, 150, and we just drop it on the floor, it will actually count to 150. That way we're not making it, like, infinitely. So, unless I find more steel, I don't believe... This is enough for one more thruster, but I don't believe we're going to easily get enough steel for two. Ancient mech complex. Yep, we don't control mechs in this series, so not worry about that. Yeah, there is more steel down there. Certainly not convenient, but... And then we'll get also steel from the ship parts that fell... that are here, where we conveniently left the components on the ground. Alright, sorry, Rylus. You get to eat. We got the shelves. I'm gonna temporarily put Rylus as a high priority haul so that we can tidy up the floor, because it will make the rest of the ship more decent once done. That was rude. I made a poor parka. Rylus had it on, and then he just scooped it. Gave Lisk the nasty one. Alright, at this point, the apparel policy that we have right now is... I'm going to call this Terra Firma. And it's not going to allow vac helmets. So with the tail caps, we have a negative 47 Celsius tolerance. Pretty good. We are flirting with the mental breaks, though. There's not much I can do. I mean, I'm trying to improve the dining room by cleaning up the floors and the like. And I'm going to be setting up the chimney as a chimney because it's getting actually rather warm in here. Not too keen on multi breaks though. Hey, Icy, can you clean? Oh God, you're going swimming? In that? I guess there's salmon in there. That wouldn't have not been my first choice, though. So, the dining room is now somewhat impressive. It's getting better. And that's going to allow us to recoup some of our morale through a nice dining room. So, I'm mining the gold. Just finished that. Going to mine the other gold, and then I'm going to go down to the steel to get the last thruster. I'd like to take off with all 4 thrusters, because it gives us the most maneuverability. Ooh, nice. We got Sue. And there's no plasteel on this map tile, I just checked. As far as ore goes, it should just say gold and silver, and that's exactly true. I like how, because Explorer has the word ore in it, Lisk comes up under the search for ore, because he's an explorer. That's like... I mean, damn, that search tool is powerful. It's giving me answers I wasn't even looking for. The car wrecks, if you're wondering, you can break them down for salvage. They'll give you slag, and then we could smelt the slag, hypothetically. Please don't fight. Please be friends. So in terms of relationships, we're all about neutral with one another. Ish. Ish. Without the chimney outgassing, it is a little colder. So I think what I'll do is I'll invest in a heater here too. Icy is idle, really. So we broke down those ruins. We've hauled everything hypothetically? Okay, I guess there's nothing that I want to hunt right now because, oh, you know what? We can hunt that. Because this muskox is by itself, it doesn't have a herd, so if it goes revenging, it's fine. Plus, Icy's a jogger. So she'll survive it when it gets pissed. How do you make a chimney? Yeah, you just remove the roof area. So, if you take a look at the roof here, it's an unroofed, so basically this air conditioner kicks its hot air out to outside because it's unroofed. Hence, chimney, because that's basically what a chimney is. Although chimneys are more for like smoke and exhaust. But still, the concept remains. Aichi, thank you for the bits. I wasn't watching the timer remaining, but is the countdown timer still working? Because if it's not, I'd love to know. Cool. Awesome. Great. All right. Icy, I really don't think there's much left for you to do. Unfortunately. I could stone cut. I think what I'll do is I will prepare to stone cut. And I'll put lights on the outside where the butcher table is. Because having to rely upon breaking down ruins for stone is going to get old eventually. There we go. Aram, thank you for the gifted subs, and Thomas Rouse as well. Yep, that time remaining is moving. Hey, at least it's working this time. This is my, like... I had... Oh, here we go. I had 5, like, marathons in a row where it wasn't working. So... 2 enemies. Both Neanderthal. Honestly, I'm not all that compelled that... I'll fight them. I guess. Madsy, thank you for the gifted subs as well. You all are just far too kind. One of the reasons why I'm not that afraid is, like, this one must have, like... Okay, an addiction. I thought he was slower. Some Neanderthal slaves? So our colony is, Starjack only? That includes slaves. It's only Starjack. Only. And this one's a meleeer, so I gotta be more cautious of him, so I'm gonna pivot targets now. Naichi, thanks for all of the gifted subs. Oh my goodness. Oh, he had ambrosia. Right, I mean, he was an ambrosia addict, I guess. And... you had Psycho T. Hey, Icy, collect... Actually... Lisk and Rylus, go to the ship, because you don't need to see the dead bodies. That's Icy's job. She's the Undertaker. She's ready to throw the Neanderthals to the ground and hell in a cell. Something, I don't know. For the nomad space life, I haven't all been that nomadic yet, because, these mechanoids that are threatening me sure are lazy. But having some drugs is kind of nice. So given that we've just defended our colony from a raid, I'll stick around for that last thruster. So the current priority is build the last thruster and leave. Ooh, even more gifted subs. Thank you, Scorpio. Why not use the meat for chem fuel? That's exactly what I've been doing. In fact, let's get chem shelves here. Oh my goodness. Glitch and Kilgore. Thank you, thank you. It occurs to me that it is now summertime in the northern hemisphere, which, the reason I mention this is if we're headed to the Grav Core where it's cold, going now is ideal while it's getting warmer, because we're not going to want to be there in the winter. That sounds rough. I think what I'll do is I'll stick around for this gold, this last little nugget of gold, and then leave. I'll grab steel on the next landing site, because I don't think we're going to actually reach Mount Itorion, even with the extra thruster. I'll get the extra thruster. It's not going to be that much mining. Flora's Lava and Yuri Gorky, thank you for the gifted subs, and Turtle for the cheer. Are you breaking my sleep cycle? Absolutely, and I don't mind. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Am I gonna get the jade? Sure. If you say so, Klein. If you say so. There's even compacted machinery here, but components are kind of very common to happen upon in ever since Odyssey came out, so like I'm not too stressed about that. So we need 180 steel for the thruster. And then ideally the stonecutter table too. So 285 steel total. Where the hell did my steel go? Wait, I see. Oh, Rylus grabbed it. All right, Rylus, you are no longer high priority haul. You're off the hook. Hey, Dave. Thanks for the gifted subs as well. My goodness. I don't think my subathon timer actually has like a hour cap, so I was prepared to stream much longer than 12 hours given the scope and goals. I I just hope my kidneys and bladder can can survive. Well, we'll see. All right, the other thing Icy could do, because she really is idle and there's nothing else for her to do, is when there's nothing else to do, just like break down some of these other ruins. Because it's better than her standing around doing nothing, I guess. I'll get the jade later. No, Lisk, your mood should be happier. Okay. Yeah, I know, you're not in orbital habitat. Opfer, thank you for the gifted subs as well. And Texan for the sub. Cheers. Any flooring to remove? There generally is not a lot of steel flooring anymore. So the new steel flooring is called this ancient concrete, which doesn't actually yield anything. So once upon a time, you could like strip entire swaths of a map for concrete and gain a decent amount, like 1 per tile. But if it was like 120 tiles, you get 120 steel roughly. But now it's this ancient stuff, and if I'm not mistaken, this stuff is let me double check, but I don't think you actually get resources. No resources. So they designed it in such a way, whether it was intentional or not, that like you can't just blast through the concrete like that for resource gain. You want your favorite streamer not to be uncomfortable? Oh, I'm good. I would not do it if I was unwilling. I'm excited. I am stoked. I want an asteroid base so badly. It's actually like something in terms of like video games. It's like a concept I love. That I had like, I guess Space Station 14 and Stationeers kind of does. Well, Stationeers you can't really do an asteroid, and then Space Engineers sorta. But it's like something. Oh, here we go. Incoming mechanoids. It's something I've always really wanted to do. In terms of like a run or a design or whatever, and like just never really had the opportunity to do something like that. Sean, thank you for the gifted subs as well. So I did check the save game file, but yeah, the mechanoids are still coming. You can kind of definitely see that now. So we got our stone cut table. We need about 100 steel left for the thruster, and I wouldn't mind the light either. Updating the home zone. And we have a group of travelers coming in. You're coming in... Okay, that makes sense now. I was going to say, given the ambient temperature outside, I was like, naked. That's a bold move. To come into a tundra naked. Although, Ellis, you have some pretty glorious hair. I'm like low-key jealous as a bald man that you've got lovely red locks. Get more meat? No. Muskoxes have a chance for revenge, and I don't really want these guys stomped to death. Plus, they are not visiting me. They're traveling through, so trying to get them involved in the fight would be rather difficult. How big is the chasing mechanoid party? It's sort of like an unending wave survival. Basically, it's not one chasing party. It's just like the party never ends and you die. The whole concept is run. So it says, a mech hive is conducting scans to determine your location. It will send a massive raid of mechanoids when it locates you. So flee the map. It doesn't really describe how terrible it is, but I'm sure at some point you'll see me like wait until they arrive. And it's game ending is maybe an exaggeration, but it's bad. It's not a nice raid. Alpha beavers. Honestly, don't care. I'm not going to be here long enough for them to eat trees to bother me. Worker boost? It's on a 5-day cooldown. Ooh, level 9 cooking. Good for you. And now we have heat. In our lovely ship. Alright, icy. Let's grab and go. On a scale of 1 to Wendy, how bad is it? It's not a Wendy. It's survivable if you're like well geared. But the concept is that they don't stop coming. So like you should still leave regardless. FTL meets RimWorld? Yeah, precisely. Is Nightbot like straight up ignoring your commands? Yo, Nightbot, why are you ignoring other people's commands? Maybe this is me. This one could be me. Hold on. Yeah, no, this one's my fault. I set it to me only command. Okay, fair enough. Sorry, Nightbot. Didn't mean to throw shade. It's not your fault. So we've got all the steel we need for the last thruster. And we're going to take off with like a few hours to spare before mechanoid threat time. There we go. We still have a grid excess of 95 watts, but at least it's being put into the battery. And I'll wait until the morning so they're not like doing a hard landing. I don't think there's going to be time for the Jade. Just the way the cookie crumbled. And if I'm not mistaken, Jade doors, not that they open fast or slow, but they're also not airtight. I don't even think Jade auto doors are airtight. Which I feel like they should be. Yeah, not airtight. I mean, the steel ones are. The uranium ones are. The plasteel ones are. The obsidian ones are not. Good to know. Steel for repairs? I'll find steel on our landing. Keep in mind, steel is not hard to find. Terrestrial steel. But the walk to the steel that's there sucks. So it's best to not have to run a marathon to get steel. In my opinion. Right, that's a really weird time to be going to sleep. Let's go. So, the increased thrusters reduces our crash risk, but not by a whole lot. And, oh my god, that is tantalizing. We are so close to edge. So if that's the case, any of these points of interest are decent. So we have wetland, river, increased fish, caves, mountain, a plateau. So plateau is a small rise with sharp cliffs and a flat top. That might be nice for security's sake. Sparrow habitat, wetlands, a valley, a caribou habitat. Ooh. Well, caribou actually fight back. Elk don't. So I'm going to go to the plateau. Lunchtime. Bye-bye, stop number 1. And hello, stop number 2. Plateau kind of looks like a lone mountain to me. Let's see. Okay, let's search. Steel. Compacted steel is here. So I will land here, I guess. I don't like how close to map edge I am, so I might land further from this. Well, it's all map edge everywhere. I'll just land next to the steel. It's fine. I don't think this is going to be a map tile. We're going to be here for very long. There is components there. There are elk there, good for hunting. There's ibex that we're next to. Yeah. All right, confirm. Epic tile for mountain base. Yep. And we didn't have a breakdown. Nothing blew up. So, right now, what we want to do is refuel for next launch. Which means hunting. Oh, there's a great wolf. There's a great wolf really close, and it's going to eat me. So I am going to fire the first shot. Great wolves, if you're wondering, are like dire wolves. They're basically dire wolves. Genetically engineered canine modeled after the longer-steak dire wolf. These fearsome predators were created as pets for the Glitter World elite. Wild great wolves now populate many planets and are freaking scary to fight. But not when you have a lot of guns. You can see why I wouldn't want one person to get ganked by a great wolf, but if we're doing the ganking, it's okay. Wargs on roids? No, they're basically just wargs. I wouldn't even say they're necessarily on roids compared to a warg. Wargs are pretty nasty too. And there is scimitar cats, which are like Smilodon or saber-toothed cats. There's mastodons. There's a whole bunch of new animals that are, you know, added in. Alright, another thing that would be nice to do is to double my potential power gen with the steel that we're getting, and then also add some batteries. We're pretty close to microelectronics, so obtaining the steel needed for it would be great. And then another thing that would be smart to obtain would be a comms console too, so that we can start contacting other factions through radio. Maybe want a Digipet? Maybe at some point. I don't think we can really support the diets of a Digipet right now. But getting a dire mole or a mega sloth. The issue, of course, don't forget, Starjacks have absolutely no animal handling. So if we want a Digipet, we need to be able to tend to it, which probably means getting, you know, like a skill trainers or something like that, because we're really not going to be able to do any taming on our own. We have virtually no ability to do taming. Alright, this map tile has slate and sandstone, it seems. Let me double check that. Slate and sandstone, yep. We could do exogenes to custom tailor the Starjack skills. That is not against the rules. Correct. One might think that, like, going full vampire might be a little fudge in the rules, and I would agree with that. At that point, like, are we really a Starjack? But getting a gene to help us with mining is more reasonable. Plus, not for animal skills, but for plant cutting and mining, we could also get drill arms or crop hands, things like that, that would allow us to compensate for our lack of skills. Mad elk. Let's just deal with that real quick. And cheers. Cheers. Oh, it's the Ayo song. Question for next research. I was thinking of heading towards machining. So, do you guys agree? And I think we should be saving up in terms of the goal for a high-tech research mesh as well. So we'll want steel for the high-tech bench. The concept here is like we have terrible guns, and I think working towards gas operation for at least heavy SMGs is going to be a big deal. I also don't think it would be a bad idea, especially if we're going to dangerous zones, to have shield belts. So the other thing that we might want to consider is machining and then to get shields. Now the problem is I don't have plasteel, so I won't be able to make a shield belt unless I find plasteel, but thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey, the Voidborn, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Voidborn.